7:30 p.m. today.
I like to move it, move it.
So I was just thinking about the snap you sent like 2 weeks ago about holding your key for like 3 hours. Life of a social worker. I feel you. Honestly, like I need to work potty breaks into my time management.
Yo, so number one, I have been working so much that I have not been able to schedule all of Grampy's doctor's appointments. So Grammy's been jumping in and calling the doctors, and everything's been a mess there. Like, they're freaking out, screaming at each other. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Two, I forgot that Isabella's birthday party is next weekend, and there's shit piled from the floor to the ceiling that I wouldn't be able to put away even if I wasn't working 24/7. By the way, I'm on call, so I literally am. I couldn't put it away because it's Grammy's like hoard stuff, and like she doesn't want me to throw anything away, and there's nowhere to put it. So like, what the fuck? We also have this like dumpster outside, and this is exactly what happened last year with Isabella's birthday party. Like, I'm working so much I can't help her with her hoarding stuff, and I ended up getting kicked out of the house because she started freaking out that I wasn't helping.
And you've done nothing to help. Take the party someplace else and then find someplace else to live.
I am trying to talk to you. Hey.
I'm not talking.
Hey. Be reasonable.
Can we have the box type?
Brianna, would you stop for once and stop thinking about only yourself? This is ridiculous. You have a child and a husband to be, and a lot of life right now. Going off because you're mad about what Grampy's acting like. I'm sorry.
I promise I'm not angry. I'm totally fine.
No, you're not totally fine. God damn it. I can't do this anymore with you, Brianna. I am sorry. I went upstairs because I'm sick. I have a fever. You think it's funny? It's not funny. I can't control him. You know how bad he is. I can't. Oh, look at me like I'm an idiot. That's not fair, Brianna. It's not fair what you're doing right now. It's not fair to the baby or child or anyone else.
3, 4, I don't know. Grampy spent the entire day trying to run away and start his car that we disabled. He's like, where's the jumper cables? Like, he started trying to push his car down the driveway to like manually start it in neutral. He can barely even walk. Like, he's gonna hurt himself. He's got his cognitive test tomorrow to see about the dementia. I've been trying to check his blood sugar, and like, I just can't get any blood out of his fingers. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it, and like, it takes so much work to like get a call back from the nurses. All of his meds are messed up. Like, they prescribed him insulin when he doesn't need it, and blood pressure meds like ×2, so he's taking too many blood pressure meds, and I have no idea. Like, I don't know. 6? I don't know. I'm obviously not good at counting right now. Yeah, I'm like forgetting all this shit. Like, I've been so stressed. I was trying to give Grampy his meds the other day, and I went to go grab him a glass of water to swallow it with, and I like brought him a paper towel. Like, I'm pretty sure that I failed my class last semester, and I'm too afraid to open my computer this semester. I haven't submitted an assignment, so I might be getting kicked out. So much for graduation. Tyler can't pick up Isabella from daycare at all next week, and I'm working until 8, like, every day. Like, maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'm working late, but like not super late. I'm not sure. how this girl's gonna get home from school or who's gonna watch her. Grammy has been having emotional breakdowns, like crying. Not as like depressive as they were last year, around the time that they asked me to leave and like swore at me and stuff. That summer she ended up hospitalized and they put her on medication for a personality disorder, and things have been a little bit better. So she's upstairs cleaning right now, and she's promised me that it will be different this time. She really wants us to stay and help with their retirement. She said that she would work with a hoarding therapist too, so.
Don't worry, Brianna. You can't punish me enough for what you're doing right now. Don't worry. He's taken off, you're taken off, and it's my fault because I went upstairs and wanted to lay down.
Bag.
It was as simple as that, Brianna.
Alright, these need to be on top of whatever we
Fucking,
do.
honest to God, I am so tired of you being such a childish bitch and such a baby. You're not taking those. You're not taking anything. If you're gonna be that ridiculous, you're gonna go off and have your party without me. Yeah, laugh at me. I've had it. I don't feel good, Brianna, and you don't give a shit.
Alright, we'll just go.
Just go. Just go, Brianna. Now you have a good excuse to blame me for everything that goes wrong in your life. It doesn't matter what I do to help you or do for you.
Alright.
You think you're gonna have a party? And go and celebrate? Have a really good party and enjoy yourself, Brianna. You know that Grammy just started yelling like that, but no, you're gonna do this to me.
I have said less than 2 words.
Honestly, living in that motel last year after they made me leave was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I've gone through some crazy things, but having a baby with me and being forced to sleep for so long in like a roach infested, drug infested, like people screaming outside, like smells like cigarettes, $900 a week too. Like we were spending so much money, like all of our savings for the wedding. That was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And like today it all came flooding back once I realized that it was her birthday. I don't know, I just feel so helpless right now. I need a break.
Oh, that's exploding.
I haven't said a goddamn word. Now get the fuck out.
I'm trying to reasonably talk to you.
You're being an ass.
What did Brianna do for her daughter's party?
She's mad at me.
I don't give a shit. I'm mad at them.
Why?
What? We all helped.
You know business to help to be mad. I'm sorry, Tyler.
This entire time.
Who's picking up your dad tonight?
I'm gonna pick up my dad.
And where is he gonna stay?
He'll stay with me. Unless you want him here.
Oh, of course I don't want him here. Wasn't that what you said? I didn't want him here to someone on the phone earlier? That I didn't want him here? And that I was trying to play a martyr?
Okay.
I did all this work to play a martyr? For all that shit that you're taking.
Okay, do you want
Leave
to...
it there. Leave it there. If you're gonna be this much of a bitch and not include me in her party, leave all of it here.
Alright. Well, I can take the
I
things
paid for everything.
You didn't pay for everything. I'm going to take the things that I paid for.
Brianna, you can do
I
this.
paid for this.
You can do this to me. You don't have a conscience about it.
Graham,
What did you do today
you
to
have
help?
no
What
idea.
did you do to help today?
You have no idea what you're saying. Grampy, there's nothing that I can do or say to make this better. It's better for us to go anyways. We shouldn't have,
in and we'll talk about
no, we shouldn't have ever been here.
But you've been here.
Yeah. And it was a mistake. Yeah, we'll take our dog. And another reason that this job is just like a little too much for me is I'm literally crying on my way to pick up my client for her supervised visit with her mom because I just don't know whether or not her mom's going to show up. And it's so hard. So I gave my notice today at this job because the hours are just killing me. I don't get to see my baby, school, and work, and my grandparents. And I'm on call for my last weeks. It's freaking 9:54 p.m. I'm going to Concord to try to de-escalate a boy who's smearing feces all over his parents with a toothbrush. Kill me. So Grampy just jumped up and said that he needed to go to the emergency room. Grammy's home, so she was able to take him, and I can't. Somebody's coming to rent the car. But like, he freaks out when he's around her with like the medical stuff, so we'll see. He wouldn't let her go get her phone, so she doesn't have a phone, and he doesn't know how to use his phone. So he's like trying to call me, like FaceTime me, and he's got the mute button on. I have no idea what he's talking about, but like they were screaming at each other last time they called, and I have a feeling like he's gonna jump out of the car and like try to call 911 or something, like for an ambulance, because he hates her and she hates him. This is why I quit my job. This is the second night in a row that I haven't been able to sleep. So I'd like to say that I woke up early to watch the sunrise, but your girl is still awake. Contemplating life and writing my schedule as a new stay-at-home mom. He's got congestive heart failure, and I guess it's because of his medication being awry, which means I fucked up.
Visit bostonwingman.com. For more information about our statistics, visit naa.edu/consumer-information.
The hottest summer deals are at Mattress Firm.
There's people looking at me, but I have been like trying to get the doctors to review his medication and figure out why his blood pressure has been through the roof.
Weekends are all about getting a little
It's late
fancy.
now.
And at the Home Depot,
You time means you build it.
Update. Grampy fled the scene. He left the hospital. He was mad that it took so long. I mean, they were waiting for like 13 hours, but they had him admitted and he was pissed, so he left. And I guess it's up to me to like go pick him up every time that happens, so it's also my fault that he doesn't go back to the hospital and he's at home with congestive heart failure because there's no accurate diagnosis of dementia on file. So I haven't told anyone about this yet. Like everything has just been on fast forward for the past 24 hours. But it also feels like it's been a lifetime. I came up yesterday from the basement. I was taking a nap with Isabella and there was like 6 police officers in the kitchen. Grampy was like in the middle of them screaming. His wrists were bleeding, like cuffed. I asked them what happened. They couldn't get a word in because Grampy was just screaming about how they sat on top of him and cuffed him and like that they were like attacking him basically. And so I don't really get it. Like they said the same thing about him, that he was aggressive, he like broke his cane on them or something, and he was like, no, you broke my cane. Like I have no idea. And he like threw his body on the ground. He's like, I'm not going with you, I just want to sit in my chair and watch TV, and this is my house, you can't take me out of my house. He was like demanding a lawyer and their badge numbers, and they had to call an ambulance to like get him like strapped into a chair to get him out. He kept on repeating like, is this what you wanted, Jenny? And look what they did to me, look at my arms. Like he was bleeding, his arms look nasty, like he doesn't look good. But so they took him out and told me that I can pick him up from the police station. Bail is however much, and he can't come back to the house afterwards because it's a domestic violence thing. I guess the police were called because the neighbors said that there was 2 cars ramming into each other in the driveway, like honking their horns. I guess he had backed up into her car because she was blocking him, and she was like laying on the horn for a long time. Neighbors came out screaming like, awesome. Anyways, he's not allowed to be within 300 feet of her for however long it takes to go back to court. We had court this morning. They explained that like, you know, the usual bail shit. No contact order, like no alcohol, whatever. So Grammy ended up leaving because Grampy has such bad health issues, he can't be on his own, so like I need to be there with him to take care of him and make sure he's eating and taking his meds and going to the doctors and shit. So she's with my Uncle Mark, Jason, somebody, I don't know. And I have no idea. I guess she's not coming back. Apparently me and Tyler. So I'm definitely a little bit nervous about affording the entire mortgage payment, and whether or not we're gonna sell it, like how this is gonna go. Like is the state gonna take it? Like, is Grampy gonna end up in a nursing home soon? Like, this is obviously his dementia getting worse. I have to call his social worker to like ask for some help here because he needs a diagnosis, and how are we gonna get through this next month with him being upset, you know? Like, he was giving me a hard time this morning wanting to drive again. I'm like, he can't drive. He's fucking blind and deaf. Yuck. Got it.
Here you go. Here you go.
Thanks, babe.
Sit down. Oh, so.
That's yummy. Peanut butter toast? Mmm. I haven't given an update in a while. I don't really know where to start. I guess speaking with my uncle about my grandfather's situation, like he kind of like shed some realism on my life that like there's no way for anyone to help my grandparents out of the position they're in. That they've been in an abusive relationship all of everyone's life and have never like really accepted help from other people. So after that conversation, I kind of felt a little bit silly for like staying with them for so long. Their financial situation is pretty bad and their relationship situation is pretty bad, and I just kind of realized that there wasn't very much that I could do about it. So after I took Grampy to court for his bail hearing, that's when I had the conversation with my uncle about like how they think it's good for me to like move out of the house. And I didn't really realize like what they were saying at the time, but when I brought it up to my grandmother, she got very upset, as she always does every time that I say that I'm gonna move out, and she like doesn't want me to go. She can't do it without me and whatever. So she asked me to tell my uncles that I was planning on leaving. I gave like a 2-month notice, and that kind of meant that my uncles would have to take over responsibility for my grandfather, because I was like doing his blood sugars and his blood pressure and his pills and taking him to the doctor. So prior to that, my grandparents got into like a giant fight in front of Grampy's nurses, and his entire team quit working with him, like discharged him until he had a different medical caretaker because of the domestic violence. So I was the only one that was able to do that caretaker role, and I like jumped right into it because I had already been helping, and I was like, yeah, all right, like I'll start taking him to the doctor's appointments, and I'll take over like all of his medical appointments and be his coordinator, because he's blind and deaf and he can't even make his own meals. So the job that I had at the time was really stressful and giving me anxiety. It was really bad. I was not getting enough sleep, and I talked to Grampy about maybe leaving my job so that I could take care of Grampy and my daughter full time, and she was like, yeah, definitely, like that's totally fine. Like we had talked about it and agreed upon it. Tyler and I had also signed like a $4,000 check to a contractor to renovate the basement, put in like a couple of new bedrooms, and like renovate the other side. We were planning on like a kitchen and a bathroom and stuff like that. And yeah, we had paid for it, and half of it was pretty much finished. Grammy had said thank you, and like she wanted us to continue like the renovation as payment, so that was fine. So on top of that, we were also like paying for groceries, and like I was taking Grampy for like trips to Walmart and getting his haircut, and any extra savings that we had, we put in Grammy's account. Just like we always have, we put all of our money in her account, and she took what she needed, and like it was never, I never really thought of it as like anything more than it was. So I was definitely surprised when she like came back with all of those nasty things that she said, that I was like taking advantage of her, and never said thank you for all the things that she's done. She said that I was like mooching off of her since I was 18 years old, and that I would have never like graduated college without her and all that. She said that I was abusing her. Me and Tyler were abusing her just like Grampy was, and I don't know, like it was just like, holy crap, you know, like I shouldn't be there. So I was like, okay, we'll be out tomorrow. I told her that, and like police are involved, so like we really had to get out by tomorrow, if that's what we were saying. So we started packing our stuff. We put a lot of our stuff in a storage unit that night. Got like all of the essentials.
Hi.
It's my baby. Say hi.
Hi.
We ended up staying at Tyler's parents'. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
And then the next day I went back because my uncle was going to check on my grandfather, because my grandfather's like not super safe at home. He was really upset that we were leaving that night. He was like, you don't have to go. Like, he was disappointed because I help him cook and I help him go to the store, and like I'm pretty much I was his only like sense of independence. So he was really upset when I left. He actually like kind of blocked us from leaving the driveway. Like he was like super upset. Like he was getting in Tyler's car, and he was like, my car's not working, and like I need to get out of this house now, and you need to fix my car. We'd actually disabled his car because he can't see, and he's not supposed to be driving, but like he's also got like dementia symptoms, so like we have to like trick him, and it was rough. So like he's also been really suicidal lately, and I wasn't comfortable leaving completely, just because I just didn't know what was going to happen to him. And after talking to both of my uncles, were like, I'm not helping, like they can do it on their own, I'm not into like taking care of my parents and this and that, and just talking mad shit about them. So like I thought that like nobody really wanted to help him. So since my grandmother was like legally not allowed to be within 300 feet of my grandfather, and my grandfather was acting crazy when I left. He didn't want us to go. Like I was worried about his safety. So I called the police station and asked them just to do a wellness check, like not to like get him in trouble or anything, just to like make sure that he was okay. And just because he's been like wanting to kill himself lately, like he slapped his pills out of my hand, and like it was a big ordeal. He wanted to die because like he felt like the whole family hated him. So I did that, and I told my uncles just out of courtesy, like just in case they got a call or something. And my uncle Jason was like, why would you do that? Like you're just making it worse. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know, I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't think that anybody really wanted to help him. Like everything that you guys have told me so far is that you don't like him and that he's abusive and this and that. So I just figured that like nobody wanted anything to do with it, and I just wanted to make sure that like someone would check in on him. So like the only person I could think of was the police. And I guess Uncle Jason like drove there that night and patched things up with him, because the last time that they saw each other they were like in a fist fight and they haven't talked in months. don't know. I don't remember where I was going with this. Yeah, so Uncle Jason, like, stepped in. And I had been moving out, so I wasn't around. But I went back the next day to teach Uncle Jason how to take his blood pressure and his blood sugar and deal with his pills, because he's got a lot of pills. 3 pages worth. Jason also talked with my husband, Tyler, a little bit about, like, some things that we were doing around the house. Like, Tyler built the new stairs to the basement, and we put the money into the basement, like, on the other side, and remodeled things. And Jason was talking to him. I didn't know at the time, but Tyler said that he was, like, super surprised by, like, all the things that we were doing at the house, and, like, did not know that we were contributing at all. Like, I'd never, like, thought to say anything that, like, whatever we were doing at the house, just because, like, I didn't think it mattered. And for his, like, reaction to be so, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were doing that, I was just like, okay. But I guess he was like, so I know that this is super, like, sneaky of me, but after she told me all of those, like, really terrible things about myself, that, like, I was abusing her and taking advantage of her, she left her tablet at the house, and I heard it going off. It's attached to her phone, so, like, all of her text messages go to it. I just, like, had a feeling that she was talking bad about me. It's not the first time. So, like, I opened her tablet and I read her messages between her and Jason, and apparently the reason that Jason had asked me to leave was because she had told him that we were doing all of these terrible things to her. His exact words were, "Brianna sucks. Fuck her. Like, I just eliminated her from the equation." He said, "She's causing more problems and making this harder for everyone. She's a selfish, manipulative, selfish person." She said, "Fuck her. Who gives a fuck?" I haven't talked to my Uncle Jason since I was a little girl. Like, how long has he thought these things about me? You know, like, in the moment, I was like, holy crap, like, I gotta get out of here. But I, like, took a picture of those messages and I sent them to my uncles, just because, like, I was so hurt, and, like, I wanted them to know that I knew what they said about me. I think the most hurtful part about it was after Jason said, "Fuck Brianna, who gives a fuck?" Like, all of those terrible things, like, my grandmother replied and said, "Thank you. Brianna needs to hear those things that you said about her." Like, so after I sent the picture to my uncles, Jason immediately started apologizing, and apparently he sent those messages before he came over and saw all of the things that we were doing for Grammy and Grampy and doing the pills and whatnot. Just, like, very hollow apologies. Like, both of them were apologizing to me, and it took me, like, a day or two to, like, process it, and I sent a message to my grandmother afterwards, like, just asking her why she, like, tricked me into thinking that she needed my help if she was just gonna tell people the exact opposite. Like, she was telling me, like, thank you for helping me, and thank you for doing this, and please do this, and, like, please don't leave me. But, like, she was telling everybody else that I wouldn't go away, and that I was, like, taking advantage of her and abusing her. So she sent me message after message after message saying that she didn't deserve me, and that I'm a beautiful person, and that she's never gonna forgive herself. And she ended up going back home after having her emergency court hearing so that the restraining order would be dropped between the two of them, because I wasn't taking care of him anymore. And both Mark and Jason said that they didn't want to do the job that I was doing, because it was a real job. It was like a 50-hour-a-week job. And they had no idea that they were making me leave, and that me leaving would give them the responsibility of taking care of their father. so they all wanted me to go back. This is the short version. There are other things that happened. Just super crazy, and like, now that I'm out of that house, like, I am still really heartbroken that like I have virtually no family, no people that like I can really trust or rely on in the family, at least. But I am really relieved. Like, I feel like there's just infinite possibilities for my family and I, now that I'm not planning on taking in my grandfather with dementia, like my grandmother. Like, that was so much weight that I was carrying, and they're messaging me off the hook. Grammy's still messaging me. Ow. A lot.
Hey,
I'm sure that her life would be a lot easier with me there helping. But
Hi.
we're looking at houses, and I am interviewing for a position, and
No, sorry.
we've got lots of good things happening here. And I wish them nothing but the best. Say hi. This was good for me. It's cold. Look at your cheeks.
Mine.
That's hers. Yesterday was Christmas. We move into our new place next weekend. I got a job. We're catching up on bills. It's been a sad couple of months. We've been sharing a bedroom. But it was what we needed. And this little girl is gonna have her own bedroom for the first time since she was a little baby. And we don't have any grandparents to take care of, so I think we're gonna be okay.